Okay, hey guys, I want to continue this unit. This video is going to be about like harder polynomials and a couple other special like products. Oh my gosh, excuse me. If you want to print this out before we start, pause it and then like, go print it out and come back. All right, so there's a formula for the sum of difference of two cubes. You learned what's called difference of perfect squares, and it is this guy. You may not know you learned this, but you learned this. So like for example, if we had like I don't know, x squared minus 25. Well, the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 25 is 5. And then you do 1 plus and 1 minus, and it didn't matter. Like if it was plus first and then minus. And so you learned that. Right now, we're going to do sum of difference of two cubes. And so this guy uses an a and a b. There's another version, like if you Google it, that uses an x and a y. And I just want you to think of it this way. I want you to think of it as the first number and actually first number versus the second number. And I also don't want you to memorize this. I'm going to give you this formula. All right, so for example, you'll have a number. Oh, actually, I didn't want to. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, I wanted to use an x. So it didn't matter if we use an a or an x. Okay. It'll say like, I don't know, maybe x cubed. Okay. And then maybe it says plus 8. Well, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, so it's like 2 cubed. All right, and so that's the first number square cubed plus the second number cubed equals, and then we follow the formula, we follow a pattern. So it's going to be the first number plus the second number. So you're going to take like the cubed root, you're going to figure out, like if it was 8, it would be 2 times 2 times 2. So we would use just like x and 2. Okay. When I do a real example, it's going to mean more. Right now, I'm just showing you that you can use an x or a y. Minus sign and plus sign. That way I don't have to do that. All right, then we do the first number. Silly. Do the first number squared minus the first number times the second number plus the second number squared. That's a squared still. It doesn't look like a squared. All right, and so we can do the same thing for this formula. We could use x and a y. All right, so let me go to this next slide. Okay, they used x and a y here, and I want you to notice something. Again, do not memorize this formula. I will give you this formula. What I want you to do, the purpose of learning this is to be able to spot patterns and to be able to use a pattern in a formula in a specific case, okay? So first number cubed plus second number cubed, you just take the first number plus the second number, then the first number squared minus the two numbers multiplied, plus sign, the second number squared. Or if there was a subtraction sign, you do the first number minus the second number, first number squared plus sign, the two numbers multiplied together, plus the second one squared. I'm going to write them down because sometimes I'll forget them. All right, now let's do a real problem. Okay, so here we are. So x cubed is x times x times x. Okay, x times x times x. 343. It's always going to be something small. So like less than 10. So when our calculator, let's just do like 2 times 2 times 2. You'll get 8. And do like 3 times 3 times 3. You're going to get 27. Do 4 times 4 times 4. 5 times 5 times 5. Like keep going till you get 343. All right, so you're going to get 7 times 7 times 7. So 343 is really 7 cubed. Okay, so we're going to follow our pattern of, let me write it, and it's a minus sign. So I'm going to do x cubed minus y cubed equals x squared plus sign xy plus sign y squared. All right, there we go. All right, so this says just take x, because x cubed is x times x times x, minus sign, then this guy, just a 7. Then we're going to multiply the two things together. So we're going to multiply an x and a 7. So 7 times, uh-oh, hang on, we forgot this guy. We're going to write x squared, my bad, plus sign. Now we're going to multiply x times 7, 7x, plus, and then we're going to write this guy squared. Okay, and if you want to, you could have skipped that step and just gone straight to 7 squared is 49. Don't multiply this out. This is your answer. When you multiply all of this out, you're going to get him. Okay, because the purpose is just a factor. Now I want you to practice this guy because I just want you to practice like seeing a formula, being able to pop things in. Excuse me, I'm kind of tired. Yeah. All right, let's do this one. So it's got a plus sign. So we're going to do x cubed plus y cubed equals x plus y, x squared minus xy plus squared. Cool. All right, so we have to figure out 8. Some number times itself is 8. There's 2, 2 times 2 times 2. So it's 2 cubed. And then t's cubed is t times t times t. And then 125, we got to figure out some number times itself is 125. And 99% of the time, I can't think of an example right now, but I don't have to say all the time, it's going to be less than 10. So on your calculator, do like 4 times 4 times 4. Keep going. Okay, and it's 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So it's 5 cubed. Right? So our x is 2t, and our y is 5. Okay, and the reason the x, remember that's just, the x just means like the first number in this like formula situation. The reason it's two things is because we have like a letter and a number right there. All right, so I'm just going to follow this pattern. So we're going to take the first thing, which was 2t plus the second thing, which was 5. Then we're going to do the first thing squared, so 2t squared minus, then we're going to take the two things and multiply it, so 2t times 5 plus sign, and then the second thing squared, so 5 squared. So 2t plus 5. All right, well, 2t squared, so 2 squared is 4, t squared is t squared minus 2 times 5 is 10, and then 5 squared is 25. All right, so that's your answer. And that one was as hard as it's going to get, okay? The one we did right before is pretty much where it's at, but I wanted to do a harder one. Let's see if there's another one. All right, so, oh, okay. So just remember this guy. I just want to, this is like a review I should have written. Review, remember, recall. Before, look at here. This had a cubed, like a 3. This guy had a 3, positive and a negative. This guy has a squared, so this is the difference of the two squares. So we would do square root of x squared is just x, because x times x is x squared. Square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. 1 plus, 1 minus. And then you're done, because you're just factoring it. There's no equal sign, you don't have to solve it or anything. You're done. Remember that. Right? And then let's come here. Now we have a 4. All right, but if we kind of do the same pattern, so y to the 4th is y squared times y squared. And then 625, so if we do the square root of 625, that's 25 times 25. And one's plus and one's minus. All right, however, we know that this guy, you can factor it again. That guy factors, so y minus 5, y plus 5. And then he can't factor anymore. He's prime. So don't write the word prime, just write him down. And so it factors one more time. Because that y squared minus 25, he factors to this y minus 5, y plus 5. And it doesn't matter, like if you went to put the y plus 5 and the y minus 5. Let's do another one just like that. All right, so if we have a 4th, like a p to the 4th, all right, a p to the 4th is p squared times p squared. Square root of 16 is 4. Okay, one's plus and one's minus. All right, we cannot factor him, so he's just going to hang out and chill, relax, acting all cool, shooting some b-ball outside out of school. Love that stupid joke. Okay, and then this p squared minus 4. So the square root of p is p, square root of p squared is p, and then square root of 4 is 2. One's plus, one's minus. So all I did right here was I factored that guy. Okay, and then p plus 4, p squared plus 4, you can't factor him. He's prime, so he just stays there. You can try how you want, it's not going to factor. Okay, so those two are a little bit harder. They're a little more advanced. Okay, let's try here. So here, there's an x cubed you can take out. They all have an x cubed. So you have a 2x, 6 minus 3, then a 6x plus 5x 2 minus 15. Okay, let me rewrite it in like the correct order. 2x3 plus 5x squared minus 15. All right, and then here, let's do factor by grouping. So like where we just, those two talk and then these two talk. So there's an x that can come out. You have a 2x plus, there's an x squared that can come out, I'm sorry, because that's the smallest, plus 5. So he would have to be 2x plus 5. And if he is a 2x plus 5, then we took out a negative 6 divided by 2, negative 3. All right, and so this guy is this, and so I'm going to put it all together now. All right, so this is x squared minus 3. From here, x squared minus 3, and then we have 2x plus 5, and then we have that x cubed. That's a little harder factoring. So this is like way advanced factoring. Okay. And then I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to pick up the advanced stuff in the next video.